So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in colour, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a movie, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we can text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track extra. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of On the Track Extra. My name's John Downs. I'm the director of the Centre for Fortune Zoology, and twice a week, on Wednesday evenings and Saturday afternoons, I bring you a jolly little potpourri of hard science, weird shit and sorority.
Why is the ermine considered to be a dirty beast? Because, unto itself, it is a luxuriant bedsheet, but it has no change of linen, and must do its laundry with its tongue.
Quite often on the Wednesday evening on the Track Extra show, we bring you a book review. And this is what we're going to do this evening. But first of all, I just want to remind you why we do book reviews. It's because friends of the show, Doug Whipple and Mick Holland, both asked us to continue to do book reviews regularly because it's pointing them towards new titles that they had not come across earlier, which should be, in their opinion, in their Fortean bookshelf. And we're quite happy to oblige because that's exactly what we like. We like to find new titles to go in our collections of books. The CFZ library upstairs is a heck of a mess at the moment, but it's full of books. We've got about 4,000 books upstairs and another couple of thousand still in my old house in Exeter that I haven't brought up yet. So I think you can say right from the beginning that I'm a bibliophile, and I know Richard has a teetering pile of books all over his bedsit that threaten to consume him in a pile of spines, paper and dust jackets. So Richard, what book are we doing today?
We're doing Haunted and Mysterious Australia by our old friend Tim Bull, aka Tim the Yowie Man.
How did we meet Tim, first of all? I'm trying to remember.
It was at some Fortean bash run by Mike Halliwell up in Newcastle.
And he was up there visiting relatives or something, so we invited him along, I seem to remember.
Yes, and then he later did a weird weekend.
I think he came down to visit us in Exeter in between, but do you remember he was going around putting the "You have been found by Tim the Yowie Man" stickers all over cute girls in leather trousers?
Yes, I do.
I seem to remember that it was a very strange weekend. I bought a pair of snakes. You met a young lady you insisted on calling Wild Lass, who disappeared just like they always do. And we met Tim. It was a great weekend. It was in the basement of a pub somewhere, wasn't it?
Yes, it was down near the docks somewhere.
So we were down near the docks when you met Wild Lass, and I bought some snakes. Doesn't get much better than that, does it, Rich?
No.
So, who is Tim the Yowie Man? Let's start at the beginning.
Well, his real name was Tim Bull. He changed it by deed poll after he saw a yowie.
he started to do these investigations into Yowies and other Australian mysteries, and then he got famous by when they were doing Big Brother in Australia. He kept dumping these flyers all around there where they were filming, because they weren't out in the wilderness like they were claiming to be, where there were saltwater crocodiles and things. They were sort of virtually in some country park somewhere.
And what was his flyers saying?
I can't remember now. This is donkeys years ago. It's advertising him.
I remember he had quite a lot of notoriety in Australia for some years.
Yeah, but you never seem to hear of him anymore.
I haven't heard from him in years and years. But tell me about the book.
Now, the book was published by New Holland, Australia. Very nice book. It's not super detailed, but it's got lots of gorgeous photographs in. And what Tim has done has gone all over Australia to every state, looking at different mysteries and taking these fantastic photographs, and then doing a short write-up of the mystery in question. Now, what's interesting is it's not just well-known mysteries. You get really interesting little snippets of stuff you wouldn't otherwise hear from some very obscure cases, like Montague Island in New South Wales. It's supposed to be haunted, but what interests me is a giant shark and giant octopus seen there.
Really?
Yes. Says here, Laurel Pacey in The Law of Montague, a fascinating insight into the life of lighthouse keepers on Montague Island, describes in detail a sea monster, a huge octopus that reportedly lived just down from the lighthouse in the early 1900s. Early lighthouse keepers say they saw this octopus come up and try and grab a billy goat off the rocks. The rumour, they reckon the octopus weighed at least a ton. And then there's the story of a rogue shark caught on the island sometime in 1920. Following several confirmed sightings of this monster, the lighthouse keepers attempted to catch it by stringing an iron rope across a jetty and dangling a kid goat off it as bait. It worked. The giant white pointer shark, between 22 and 26 feet long, was promptly captured.
What's a white pointer shark?
It's a great white. They're often called white pointers in Australia.
That's fantastic. Are there any other stories like that in there?
Well, there's loads of little interesting stories. Let's have a look. I've earmarked some. Obviously, you've got the Tasmanian wolf, and it's got a nice interview with the late Col Bailey, the legendary thylacine researcher. So you've got mysteries like that, and the Yowie and things, and the bunyip that everybody know about. Then you get the ones like this, the world's largest geoglyph.
Good Lord.
And it says here, in 1998, a giant drawing depicting the figure of a man mysteriously carved into the red soil of the South Australian outback was discovered by a charter pilot flying between Murray and Cooper Pedy. At the time of the discovery, there was only one track entering and leaving the site. No footprints or tyre marks were discernible. The outline is thought to depict an Aboriginal warrior, most likely from the Pitjantjatjara tribe, hunting with a throwing stick. The geoglyph is, and get this, 4.2 kilometres tall and 2 kilometres wide, and is commonly referred to as the Murray Man.
That's fantastic. I'd love to know who did that. It's a bit like crop circles. I know that all the evidence is that they are man-made, but there's still a little bit of me that is fascinated by them and wonders who it is who makes them. Richard, I don't think we can talk about Tim the Yowie Man without explaining what yowies are.
The Yowie is the Australian wild man, probably a relic hominin, a hairy creature looking halfway between an ape and a man. Massive creatures about 8 feet tall, with smaller ones called Junjudi that are about 4 feet tall. And Tim saw one of these things up a mountain, and that's what got him interested in it.
So, tell me one more story from this book. Something else that...
Well, we've got the Black Mountain near Cooktown, and that is a place that was complete juju to the Aborigines. They wouldn't go near it, and it's basically, rather than a solid mountain, it's a collection of gigantic black boulders, and it's supposed to have an evil reputation, and Tim said it spooked him out more than any other place he ever went to. And there's a case of there's a case of in 1877 a farmer searching on horseback for his missing cattle entered the caves. Apparently the man and his cattle were never seen again, and lots of people have wandered up there and just never come back, because you can slip down between those boulders and no one will ever find you.
Bloody hell.
Then of course there's the Humpty Doo poltergeist, which was investigated by Tony Healy and Paul Cropper, which is probably the most, if not the most bizarre, one of the most violent and long-lasting poltergeist cases in the history of Australia. Very strange case indeed.
Before he wrote this book, he also wrote a small paperback, didn't he, called Memoirs of a Cryptonaturalist?
Yes, that was slightly more detailed in his investigations. With these ones, you've got like a double-page spread of each mystery with some very nice photographs. In his first book, he did like whole written chapters. So this is very much a picture-led, but it doesn't suffer because of that, because the pictures are great and it's got information you'll not find elsewhere in.
Well, I think that you can't really say better than that. I think it's a fantastic book, and it's one that we really ought to recommend to anybody who's even slightly interested in the weirder side of the Antipodes.
Well, let's put that to the test, shall we? Better than that. Better than that. No, I can't say better than that.
Oh dear, 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 dear. I've been living with this for 25 years now. Golly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, ignoring Richard's attempt at saying better than that, you want to say it one more time, Richard, just to see if you can say it?
Better than tat. No, I can't.
I was afraid you couldn't. Forgetting Richard's shameful and disgraceful massacring of the English language, I'll be back on Saturday with all sorts of exciting things for you, and I'll be back again next Wednesday, probably with Richard. So you're just going to have to wait and see what it's all about, ain't you, guys? For seeing you.